Some of these things. First things first, identify the sample and the population. What was the sample? 36,000. Yeah, that was our sample. What do you suppose the population is? Adults, yeah. So the population there would be the adults, presumably in the US, but it's not really specified, so okay. Is 3.7 a statistic or a parameter? Statistic. Why is it a statistic?
It says sample right above.
Yeah. Yeah, because it comes from a sample, so it's a statistic. How about that value of 3.7 itself? Is that nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio? Ratio. Good. So it makes sense to have this number be half of something else or twice something else. You can compare it. There is a meaningful zero there, so it's ratio data.
I got a question about that.
Yeah, please.
So at first we had chosen nominal, and we chose nominal because we felt like, okay, well you could put it in two groups, non-smokers and smokers. Can you tell me why that's wrong?
Okay, because they're referring to the actual percentage, not whether or not you're smoking or non-smoking. They're just talking about percentages there. This number here. And that number could be anything between 0 and 100%. So we're not working about the labels. I agree with you. That would be nominal. If you're a smoker or non-smoker, that would be your nominal data. But as far as this percentage is concerned, that could be anything from 0 to 100. So that's why it's ratio data.
So if the percentage weren't in the problem, then it would be considered nominal?
I guess if I wanted to reword this and make it the answer nominal, I'd say, you know, whether or not you're a smoker, is that nominal data or some other level of measurement. So I guess your condition of being a smoker or non-smoker, that would be something you could label that as. And in fact, you know, presumably their database would have something like that. They'd have typically like a 0 or a 1, smoker or non-smoker. But at those points, the numbers 0 and 1 are just really names. They're not necessarily reflective of anything other than the fact that they smoke or didn't smoke. All right, good question, thank you. Anything else on part C there? How about part D here? Are the numbers of subjects in such surveys discrete or continuous? Discrete, yeah, you can't have a fraction of a person. All right. I like this next one down here, kind of a nice follow-up to that. Data collected at the finishing line of a race could include name, finishing place, etc. Let's put all these into the right spot. Where's your name go? Name, nice. Let's see what else we got. Finishing place. Yeah. Finishing place. Question?
Why wouldn't that be interval?
Well, you could subtract them, that's true, but the gaps between first and second and third might not all be the same. So it may be, you know, I was giving somebody up here example of the Tour de France, which is something I like to watch. It's a bike race, and after 120 miles of racing, you know, the first 4 finishers finished within a tire length of each other. I couldn't imagine losing by like inches after you've raced 120 some miles and some brutal hills after that. But yet they'd be ranked 1, 2, 3, and 4, just like the next racers who could be 5 or 10 minutes behind them would be 5, 6, 7, and 8. So their gaps there aren't uniform, yeah. So this one I would put as ordinal. How about time, height, and weight? Ratio. Good. Time, height, and weight.
Okay, can you explain why height is in ratio? Just because it was an issue within my group.
Okay.
So that everybody have a better understanding.
Sure.
'Cause I don't think I was explaining it.
I appreciate that. So going back to my old crutch, that is, can somebody be twice as tall as somebody else?
Yeah.
Yes. If it makes sense to make a statement like that, that something is twice as much as something else, then I lump that into ratio data. And you can say that with time and with weight. So all of those, to me, fall under ratio data. Yes?
But would weight and height have a natural zero starting point?
Well, I mean, no one's going to have a weight of 0. But it is a meaningful 0 because you can compare things and you could have a difference of 0 in time and weight and height. But yeah, to me, it's a meaningful 0, unlike what you would have in the temperature scale. In the temperature scale, there's a 0, but it's kind of arbitrary. The way the 0 came about in degrees Fahrenheit was Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit calibrated his thermometer so that 32 was freezing and 212 was boiling. And that's how we got this kind of strange thing there. Anders Celsius came by years later and said, you know what, we should do 0 for, actually he put 0 for boiling and 100 for freezing, and they switched that around. So that's why we got degrees centigrade now, is set up that way. But neither of those, again, has a meaningful 0. It's only in degrees Kelvin that you have degree 0 that means something. All right, you're welcome. I appreciate the question. So let's see, where else are we? The race number. Now, who's my runner here? Where's my runner? The runners. Does a race number mean anything other than your?
It's just a label.
ID number.
Yeah, it's an ID number. It's just your label. All right, it's who you are relative to the race. So the race number. And I know you guys look at that as hashtag. You have to pardon me. I'm old school. All right, that used to mean number. We got an English major over here. You can back me up on that, right?
And old school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thanks, John.
Number to me too.
Outside temperature, degrees Celsius.
Interval.
Yep. Interval, so degrees Celsius. Maximum heart rate, age. Yep. Age. Max HR. Hair color. Yeah. Hair color. And I think that's it, right? All right. John?
Would it be
Gender.
Oh, gender. Gender.
Nominal.
Yeah. Gender.
would it be fair? So like interval and ratio, like it's like we had a hard time like with some.
Yeah,
of these.
those are tough. I agree.
Can interval measurements can they be like ratio measurements can't be negative? Let's say negative numbers.
Um.
Can. Or is it more about just?
No, I think ratio. I'm trying to think. Can ratios? Can these have negative numbers? That's a good question. I'm leaning no, but I don't want to say a blanket no until I think about it a little bit more. I'm gonna have to. I'll be honest. I don't want to steer you wrong. I don't want to say something. My inclination is to say your ratio numbers aren't going to be negative, but I'm sure I could find a mistake in there or something. Yeah. Michael?
Your tool, can something be twice something? Why can't that be applied to temperature? 26 degrees can be 52 degrees.
Yeah, but if you look at the amount of heat that's present, 26 degrees in either Celsius or Fahrenheit isn't half of the temperature that it would be, in that scale. So you're taxing me because it's been a while since I've had a physics class. But I think degrees in degrees Fahrenheit, it's like negative 423-ish. That's where you hit absolute 0. So this is degrees Fahrenheit. In degrees Kelvin, 0 is 0. It doesn't get any colder than that. So when it goes from, 1 to 2, yeah, you're twice as warm. But in this scale, if it goes from, say, 26 to 52, you take a look at these distances, this one and this one, this isn't twice this one, because the 0 doesn't start where, absence of heat doesn't start at 0. So appreciate the question. I hope that gives you a satisfactory answer there.
I understood.
Okay, good deal. All right. Anything else on that one? All right. Good deal. Good deal. Let's see.